There is nothing. Only warm primordial blackness. Your conscious ferments in it. No larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore. Ever. Never, ever. Never, ever, ever, baby. An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it. Yes, it is. You got it, sweet brother. Nothing upon nothing. I know you do, baby. I know. Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage. Do you really? Alright. Nothing town to fuck all borough. Great choice, Elder One. Do you really?
You wouldn't like it if I told you what was back there. Why'd you think you had to bludgeon yourself into oblivion? Or did you not sense yourself marinating? Poured so much on yourself, got a bit carried away, did we, Chef?
Fear and apprehension. You should ask what's out.
Somewhere in the sore, bloated man-meat around you. A sensation. Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again.
The stench of liquor rises from you. A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a clarion call from hell.
You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants. It says, whirling in rags, on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on the ring. The number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door. This fan has 2 chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades. The blades come squeaking to a halt. It should be easier to reach the tie now. You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap! It's released from the blade. What you have in your hand is a truly hideous necktie, with 4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds you of a noose. window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside. A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent. More likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact. It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist. The single green shoe you found fits the hole almost as well as your foot. It would have also been heavy enough if thrown with force. Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe. A cool wind gushes in. Your toes curl up from the cold. There they both are, two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin, reunited on your feet. Like two baby crocodiles. Good, they're balanced, comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now, truth be told. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, the man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does.
You've just picked up some magnesium.
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. You. As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. If an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you, this man would hurl himself in death's way to save you. You are sure of this, but why?
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting for your name. This is your chance to come up with a really good name for yourself. Get creative. Conceptualize. Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon. But
It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here? If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area, now that I'm here as well. I understand the scene is out back, right? It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? Good. But even if you haven't, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree? Mm-hmm. So, the body is still in the tree.
this is the first time you detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice. It is obvious he would have preferred for the body to no longer be in the tree.
Where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. After you, officer.
If you're about to embark on an investigation, shouldn't you have a badge?
You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is now in your party. You can talk to him whenever by interacting with him.
You should totally sing karaoke utterly, and it needs to be heard through a PA system by other people. You should sing the sad small church song from that. Serves them right. You would need another copy of the tape first, though. A man in his late 20s with a thin, unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
Mr. Gart, right? You run this place.
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41? Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also took you a while to call us and report the dead body. It was you who placed the call, yes?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over her duties.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No. I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many cafeterias I manage.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case...
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
I didn't imply that. Detective. I have everything. You?
Yes, yes. He means, do you have questions for me? Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that, then to your right. I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little note.
She went away because none of your business. Extra fine. No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager. I hope it is.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real. Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real.
The IIR, or
Wow, you're a genius. Yes, that's right. Money. You can't arrest me. I haven't done anything.
from the bottom of your blue soul, a term emerges.
But it's not inane. You owe me money.
It is cruel of you. A man has been killed. File a request for compensation with Station 41. We need to work now.
Okay, you'll only have to pay for the window and the drinks. Don't thank me. You still owe me 70. If you don't have it by tonight, I'm not letting you back up there.
That's enough now, sir.
By the way, where is home? But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for in time or space. That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay. If you can try, run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment will... You see a set of tire tracks in it. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message, written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager. The hole in this fence doesn't look that huge. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
You are correct. This is a rather motor carriage-friendly city.
Somehow that makes you feel scared.
I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez. With the jam right here on the roundabout, I would keep them separate.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went. This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, "Whirling in rags." There's something in there, not necessarily connected to the case, but still. The body is downwind from here. Maybe.
Trash, food waste from the cafeteria. They lock these containers to keep the... We could try using a pry bar, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags.
Can I help you? Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
This trash container is with a well-oiled crack. The lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer. Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too, a white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that...
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who...
The fuck's he on about? Kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See? Not really. All we know is...
The lieutenant nods. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey... Nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork? Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? Understood.
Be untroubled. If anything, this small moment has made him respect you more. You pick out a broken mug only in its social sense.
You've acquired an interactable...
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. You said you didn't want to talk about the ledger. However, now that you have it back, it would not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Officially.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful... There's a piece of toilet paper. Or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper. Desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you. Below the pathetics, it's just toilet paper. Still wet. The toilet paper pit. An aluminium block runs the width of the board. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence.
What? That thing. It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number.
How many years you've been on the force?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have had lights designed...
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag, they're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
Huh?
Arson, petty theft, spouse. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each in a title, one might say even. One that draws, yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Others appear more light-hearted. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? Good. That's a good one. But do you also use the titular? Well, so do I. In our defense, officer, almost everyone in the RCM does. It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization... Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one, the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that. I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smell. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage? Yes, you can piece them together. Why, yes, your precinct number is 41. Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your... That is improbable. It takes about half an hour to piece one. This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, the mural is enormous. True love is possible. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the belles-lettres have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World mural. As the crew agrees to clean up after the 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options, a staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us. Did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? What do you want to tackle next? Not much has changed in the meanwhile. Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse, handwritten logs. There is, for precisely. Sadly, the ledger only comes. The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder, like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. He is not really saying anything. Just
know that I give this to you with resentment.
the tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of...
No, actually. Any ideas? Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them. It takes about half an hour to piece one together. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields. These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it. Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is with your hands. You 4-sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the board. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee, slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. 2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustle. It smells of chewing gum. Apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile. You think, although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please. A merciful wind blows in from the Bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. Frisson covers your entire body, a feeling of cold, a persistent. Your hands shake, holding on to it. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on. To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything all right?
There is nothing. Again.
Beautiful.
Bloated corpse of the
Beautiful.
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads. You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into
Oh, but you are. They're pouring something on you. Something.
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness. In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, the air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil.
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water.
What happened? Right. You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed? Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage without resistance or sound. The two panels move against each other. The words just crossed your mind somehow. Who do you think? It's slightly, ever so slightly, the acidic stench of rotting food has rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. The lieutenant observes you, raising and lowering the toilet water-logged mass under your nose, trying to get a good whiff, a good analytical whiff.
Excuse me, I just have to ask again. How did it get in the trash? I'm sad to hear that. In any case, we are lucky you found it. Make sure it's all in there. Official notes are... well, they are dangerous. They contain... Now, if you'll excuse me, that thing has...
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch. The trash collection service, CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when.
I think fugue states are more your... Yes? What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
We should find out who this Lord faction is. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking.
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. He wasn't pan-fried, he was lynched. What could the kitchen... Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until one... What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are off. And have you found anyone to be sweet to? I'm sorry if I was being... Oh, you must forgive. I'm Lena.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Of course, dear.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. Oh, excuse me. The worker is in a deep slumber. Perhaps he's on his way to where you just came from. There is only one way to wake this bone...
Why the yelling, man?
Looks like a sow descendant. A lot of sow dock workers around.
Really? You woke me up for that? That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics.
He doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this.
Logistics? Nope. Yeah, what about it? You know, people die here every day. Someone's found in a ditch, another one falls in a manhole, a third one gets eaten by stray dogs. If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it I can tell you this. You heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know, and I prefer to keep it this way.
The lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note in his blue notebook. So Union people think he was a killer, he thinks. Even sleepy hair. This doesn't...
Indeed.
The dock worker. are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots, maybe more than 12. No, 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. 1. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 46. 2. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. 3. Hobnailed work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 43. 4. Standard work boot, number 45 or 46. 5. Another standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. 6. An aberration, light as air, even pace, impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. You're not bad. It's as if the whole world darkens. Everything else has a thin film of unimportance on it, and the tracks burn in the middle of it. 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot, number 46. But the imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms. 8. And yet another standard work boot, number 44.
How many? I was pretty off then. I counted 20. I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything? A woman? Or a kid? Understood. Anything else? 200? Could it be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up?
He might be right.
Possibly, yes. Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor? Or maybe a drummer?
He regrets it the moment he says it.
I don't know why I said that. We are not looking for a drummer. We are looking for a group of dock workers. Perhaps it could be a driver. We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no? You're right. Let's keep a low profile. A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would...
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree. The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. You seem to be holding a cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The smell is repulsive. Too late. It's impossible to keep in. Until a pool of vomit lies under your feet.
It's okay. Happens to everyone. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. If you can handle the headache. So there is Frit nearby, east of the hostel. They usually have a small apothecary. If they don't... There's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the smell.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a
The RCM in Martinez. We don't see a lot of police around, of course. What can I help you? Sure. I'm the... Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache. Excuse me?
She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should drop this line of questioning.
Oh, well, I didn't write it there. I'm just sitting here. Okay. Since the street sign's messed up? Okay, what do you mean? We're in Martinez, sir. This intersection, there's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, the harbor gates, some shops and a bridge, just coast. It's just water. No problem.
She's very well composed.
Of course.
Her gloves, you get the feeling that you need them. You have a...
Sure. Keep...
The tracks are as they have ever been. A bit more worn, perhaps. Fortunately,